Hello and welcome, I am Bert the Stormtrooper, and today we're going to be taking a look at Transformers Generations 2015 Combiner Wars Powerglide, and I love this toy. This guy was released in December of 2014, just a few months ago. He's been out and about, but he's been kind of hard to find. He's starting to get a little easier to find now. He's averaging about $10 to $13 depending on where you get him. He comes packaged in the what has now become the normal Combiner Wars packaging with a black background and red lettering, which I think looks really, really cool, along with some artwork of the character right here at the top, Combiner Wars at the top. He comes packaged in robot mode. I think I've said enough on that. You can see Autobot Powerglide, ages 8 and up. This is cool. This guy right here tells us combine to form, and then he doesn't tell us what. So I don't know what the heck that means. Combine to form. Yeah, whatever your imagination decides. I don't know. That doesn't mean anything. So, oh, you know what? There's some arrows pointing to to Superion right there. So I guess that's what they mean. Even though he doesn't really become part of Superion, he's more of a weapon. But anyway, there you go. I thought that was funny. Okay. And moving on, nothing on the sides here except for Superion's picture. Nothing over here. Tiny type on the bottom. Going around the back of the packaging, we can see Powerglide. Little bitty picture of Powerglide down here, and an even bigger picture of a one of the aerial bots. I don't know what. I think the jet and robot mode should have probably been the big show-offs here, and then the fact that he becomes a gun for the aerial bots should have probably been the smaller picture. I don't know. I don't work for Hasbro. That's just me. Call me crazy. Oh, marketing. So anyway, you've got Autobot Powerglide right here over the aerial bots picture, and your little one word bio or one sentence bio. Aerial acrobat, well versed in dogfighting tactics, which actually being an 810 Thunderbolt or Warthog, you know, whichever flavor you like best. But 810's very maneuverable, awesome for dogfights. So yeah, that makes perfect sense actually. And then of course Skydive figure sold separately, subject to availability, and he's kind of he's got a little bit of a translucency on his image. So there you go. There's the package for Powerglide. So why don't we free this guy from his plastic and cardboard prison and check him out? And here we have Powerglide out of the package and in his jet mode. Right out of the package, Powerglide comes with his instruction sheet and a card with really nice artwork on him of Powerglide right there. And nothing around the back, just the logo there. Now, it seems that we were getting used to these cards, and we were thinking that these were going to be just kind of the regular thing coming with the figures now, but apparently with Wave 2 of the Combiner Wars, they're doing away with the cards in lieu of comics. So it looks like these cards are going away. We're going to be getting comics. So, but for now, there's Powerglide's card. If you're into the cards, really nice. I have to say, you know, even I've been pretty vocal about not being the biggest fan of these cards, but I have to say the artwork is always amazing on these cards. Really, really cool artwork. So there you go. There's that. And here's Powerglide in his 810 Thunderbolt or 810 Warthog, choose your flavor, jet mode. I think he looks pretty cool. This guy in airplane mode is approximately 4¼ inch long. He has a wingspan also of about 4¼ inches and is about 1¼ inch tall. So lots of quarter inches on this guy, which is not really common when I measure the Transformers here. But very cool. I really like the dark red on this. I don't know how well that's showing off on camera, but he's got this really solid, nice, dark red. I'm a big fan of jets, and I really like 810s. So I used to listen to these guys fly over the barracks when I was stationed in Fort Bragg. So very cool little jet mode. Looking at all the details here, you can see the cockpits painted in there, and you've got nice working landing gear, which is nice. Now, they have molded in some landing gear right here at the back of the tail, which is not really accurate to the 810, but it's nice that they at least put that in there. And then the one in the front can also retract. So that's cool. It's got cool little working landing gear. Now, the jet mode is not perfect. As you can see right there, you can see these gaps right here, which are very obviously the robot fists. Now, from the bottom, you can't see them. and you can't see them from the top as well. So at least from a realistic perspective, if you're looking up at a jet, you don't see the fist. But when you look at it from the side, they're very obvious right there. Also, going around the top here, he is kind of gappy. You can see where these this part pegs into these what is the back of the legs here, and it's not the most secure pegs. They're kind of shallow pegs, but they do the job okay. So that pegs in, but then you still have these gaps right here between the fuselage and the wings. So those are kind of obvious there. And then on mine, and this is probably just on mine, I'm sure this is not a common thing, but you can see where they cut the tail fins here. On this one it's okay, but then over here it looks like they got a little deep with the cutter, and that's very obviously like a stressed cut right there. It doesn't, I mean, they seem to be pretty much the same height. It doesn't seem to affect the length of them, so that it still looks okay, but you can see where they cut it kind of at an angle right there, where this side over here is a little more squared off. So they kind of messed it up on mine, but hopefully that's just on mine and that's not a regular occurrence. But there you go. There's the A10 mode for this guy, which is really, really cool. And but you know what? Just for let's give this guy points on the fact that I believe this is my first Powerglide that doesn't show the head in jet mode. So that's pretty cool. Well, you know what? I think I might be speaking out of turn here. I have the other Legends class that came out with the movie. It was either Revenge of the Fallen or Dark Side of the Moon or Dark of the Moon. And I have that one, but I don't have it accessible to me right now, so I don't remember if that one showed the face. I also have the big Universe Ultra Size one, and I don't think that one showed face. So I may be speaking out of turn there. I really don't remember. Why don't you go down in the comments? If you know, go down in the comments, let me know. But G1 shows the face, and then I have a deluxe version that's a third party. That is a really amazing figure. I absolutely love that Powerglide, but the one knock I'll give that figure is that in jet mode, he does show the face as well. So, but yeah, there he is. Powerglide in his jet mode. And for comparison, here he is next to his G1 counterpart. And you can see there's quite a size difference here. Very cool. G1 Powerglide, love you. One of my first Transformers when I was a kid. Love this figure, but yeah, this updated version looks quite cool. Other than the gaps and the fact that I don't know if I just haven't seen an A10 in a long time or what, but it seems to be like this rear part of the fuselage is a little longer than it should be for an A10. It feels like this should be a little more compact in the back. Not quite as compact as this guy is, but you get the idea. And I don't know if that's just because I haven't seen an A10 in a long time or what, but it feels like this is a little longer than it should be. I don't know. But there he is, jet mode. Pretty cool. Not the best jet mode, but it's a pretty cool little jet mode nonetheless. So let's get into transformation, which is relatively simple. We're going to start right here with the landing gear and put that guy away. Go ahead and rotate the wings. The wings are pegged in. It's kind of difficult to see, but the wings are actually, they have a little port and there's a little peg coming out of the back of the waist right here. That's pegged into the wing. So you can rotate the wing and that's going to unpeg right there. I'm hoping that shows on camera. There's your little port and peg right there. So when you rotate that, you unpeg it, you bring it up. Now you see there's a little slot on the back of the wing right here that's going to go into this tab on the side of the body. So you can go ahead and tab that in there. Same thing on the other side. And at this point, if you want, you can go ahead. Well, I guess since it did it, let's go ahead and do it. We can unpeg the legs. I wasn't going to do it just yet, but they decided they were going to do it for me. So you can unpeg the legs right there. Bring the landing gear down to form the feet. Just like so. And then these tail fins, you can rotate these back and around just like that. And that's going to be the legs of your robot right there. Go ahead and unpeg the arms from the side of the wings right there, from the bottom of the wings. These guys are just tabbed in, and that will happen. That's happened to me about twice, and of course when I'm on camera it's going to happen. So there's a little tab and there's a little port right there. You just untab the arms and straighten them out. Let's see if yep, didn't happen on this side, so there we go. We're 50-50. And then on the back here, go ahead and take this panel and elevate this up. And then the entire nose of the jet is going to come up. And it's on a double hinge, so it's going to go all the way back. And it's going to tab into place right there. This flap right here, you can leave it up like so, or you can bring it down. It's up to you. I usually bring it up because it does that way it doesn't show behind the legs, and it also gives me something to grab onto when I'm moving them around. And finally, take the nose cone right here and spin this all the way around to reveal the head. And there is Powerglide in robot mode. Let's get him standing straight. And let's give you a good shot here for the camera, Mr. Powerglide. It is time for your close-up. Here in robot mode, Powerglide stands approximately 3.5 inches tall, 4 if you want to count the top of the wings right here. And so here he is, taking a closer look at him. Again, I really love the reds on this guy. It's just the deep, dark red on him looks really, really cool. It's not as dark as the one that came out for the movie. It's just a hint darker than the G1 figure is, and I think he looks really, really nice. The Autobot sticker looks amazing. The grays contrast really well with that red. And let's take a look at that head. Check it out. That is so G1 Powerglide, it's not even funny. It looks fantastic. I'm telling you, I wasn't really sure how I was going to feel about this figure. I got him in hand, and I'm really glad I did because I'm really loving it. Yeah, I'm not super crazy about that the jet mode, but this robot mode, man, just looking at this guy all the way around, and if that bothers you, you can just bring that down. But just going all the way around, this guy makes I think this is one of the best robot modes that we have had for Powerglide. So I think he looks really, really amazing. As far as articulation goes, due to transformation, you saw that he does have a, well, just because it's easier to do, I'll do it this way. He does have a rotation at the head. It can be a little difficult, as you saw just now, because of trying to get my fingers between the wings. But there you go. You have a rotation on the head. Peg this guy back up there. He's got ball joints at the shoulders, so we got, and you know, it's become what has become our standard articulation for Legends figures, which is a really good articulation. So you've got ball joints to shoulders all over the place with those. We don't have a rotation on the elbow. That's unfortunate. But we do have a hinge, and because of the transformation, he can bend his arm all the way up. I think that's a bit unfortunate. I think it would have been better served with a ball joint, like a lot of the other Legend guys are doing, because it just gives them better articulation. I think that's just me. No waist articulation, unfortunately. We do have ball jointed hips, so in and out, forward, backwards, all over the place. We've got a ball jointed knee right there. So again, you know, nice bend and a rotation as well. And due to transformation, we've got a little bit of a tilt on the heels here, but they only go forward and not backwards. One thing I have noticed is that when I'm trying to stand him, the way that his feet are angled tend to make him lean forward a bit. Now, that's not to say he's front heavy. He's not been falling on his face on me a lot or anything like that, but it just, whenever I try to pose him, it just seems like he's leaning forward. When you look at him from the side, he's not, but when you look at him from the front, it just has a tendency to look that way, at least for me, at least from my angle. So there he is, Powerglide in robot mode. And for comparison, we'll bring in his G1 counterpart, which is a lot smaller, and almost comical at this point when you look at these guys, because they had no legs whatsoever. But there you go, there he is with his G1 counterpart. I can't gush enough. I probably sound like I'm gushing, and if I am, it's because I'm really just pleasantly surprised with this figure. I'm really, really loving it. Now, Powerglide's review doesn't end there, because he does have a third mode, which is that of a weapon for Superion. If you remember, the package said that he does combine with Superion. So I'm not a super fan of the of this weapon mode. I think it's kind of convoluted. What we're gonna do is we're gonna kind of halfway bring him back into jet mode. So we're gonna bring the legs together. Now we're gonna take the fins, and rather than leave them here where they would be in jet mode, we're gonna bring them all the way down. And this is kind of cool right here. These thrusters are going to extend, and they just slide all the way back like that, so they extend. And this has nothing to do with anything other than, but if you look at that, I just find that really cool, because it does make these look kind of like the nacelles on a Federation starship, if you're familiar with Star Trek. So I think that's just kind of cool that they look that way. Yeah, you got to kind of try and keep these pegged together, just like so. The wings are going to stay pegged to the front the way they are for robot mode, but we are going to bring the arms up and peg them back into those wings just the way it was in jet mode. So go ahead and pick those guys together. And they can be tricky sometimes. So there you go. There's that. And then we're going to take the entire nose cone and we are going to rotate it forward just like we had it for jet mode. Turn his head around so you don't see that. And go ahead and pull down the landing gear. The landing gear is going to become the handle of the weapon. And of course this tab is going to remain up because that's some sort of a targeting system, I guess, if you want it to be. And there you go. There is the weapon mode for Powerglide, which is really, really silly. I guess, I mean, if you want to call it that, let's use our imagination here. Let's be kids once more. So I'm going to say that these three here, these are cannons. And then you've got these little missile pods on the side here, so you can shoot little missiles. And then you've got your targeted system right there. So there you go, or your sights, whatever. So there is your your cannon mode for Powerglide, which is silly, but there it is. And so we'll go ahead and bring in this guy right there. My finally completed Superion, since Wave 2 has finally come out and I have been able to find it. So we're going to take Powerglide and just peg him in right there, which is, it seems to be, okay, that's not going to work so well because the nose cone right here on Powerglide is hitting this tail fin right here. So that's actually making it really difficult. I guess if we have it at a bit of an angle, it'll work. But let's try it over on this side, and maybe we can wedge that nose in between these two tail fins there. So we'll just peg him in right there. Yep, that seems to work really nicely. And we'll bring that up like so. We'll try and get a good shot of that. And let's see, angle that way. And so there you go. There's my very loose elbow on Superion just dropping his gun. But I guess that's kind of cool. It makes it look like he's dropping his weapon. There you go. I liked it better when he did it slowly. It looked more menacing. That's not so menacing. But there you go. There you go. That's menacing. Yeah, kind of cool. There you go. So there's a weapon mode for Powerglide, and you can see how he looks on Superion. And there we have one last look at this guy, and I think that about covers Transformers Generations 2015 Combiner Wars Powerglide. What did you think of this figure, and what would you like to see me review next? Let me know by leaving me a comment down below. Give me some thumbs up. Subscribe and share with your friends if you like what you see, and I'll talk to you next time.